This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by Impix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. On One Software, focused on photography. Peach Pit Press, publishers of technology books, ebooks, and videos for creative people. Epson, exceed your vision. Expo Imaging, rogue flash benders for speedlight enthusiasts. Intel, the power you need for hardcore creatives. Squarespace, everything you need to create an exceptional photography website. And B&H Photo, the professional source.
Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby, and joining me today, sitting in for Matt Klaskowski, is Mr. RC Concepcion.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
That's RC right there.
What's going on, man?
Hey, RC.
I haven't seen you since Photoshop World.
I know, it's been crazy. I've been heads down. I've been heads down on a book project.
Wait, hold up a second. Did you go to Berklee College of Music?
If you mean, did I stop by their gift store and buy this shirt? Yes, I did. Okay.
I was actually going to be very impressed. I was like,
yeah, no.
Nice.
I was in Boston for my last seminar, and I went to this place somebody recommended, like right near, and I was walking by, and there was their gift store, and they had shirts and stuff, and I said, I like that shirt, because people will think I went to Berklee.
That's awesome.
Hey, where is Matt today? Matt is out actually taping an online class for Kelby Training. He is in Moab, Utah.
Yeah.
And he's out there doing an on-location thing for this big thing we're doing for Kelby Training. It's super secret, can't tell you. Okay, but he's out there. Hey, couple things. We talk a lot about portfolio development here on the show, and I actually went out and hired a portfolio consultant. So Stella Kramer, who came highly recommended, and
that's where this comes from,
and is well loved in the industry. And she was a photo editor at Sports Illustrated and at Newsweek, and done a bunch of different things. Anyway, so the first thing she said when we got together was, you have to take your sports stuff, because that's what you're working in, and put it on its own site. So I did. She gave me a whole laundry list of things to do. I've done all of them but like one, and it was during Photoshop week, so I was kind of busy. But so I took my sports stuff and I put it. All my football and sports is now on a new site. If you want to go see it, it's still under construction, but it's at scottkelby.squarespace.com. There it is.
Scott-Kelby.
Scott-Kelby. There it is. So that's the. That's it, and I'm adding a bunch of stuff to it. It's just a new. But I use Squarespace to do it. They're one of our sponsors, by the way. But I use Squarespace. I did their 7-day trial. You know what I like about Squarespace is, they probably would hate me I tell you this, but you know what I like about Squarespace's trial? If you do it for 7 days and you say, okay, well, I'm not signing up, they go, you want another 7 days? You're like, yeah, sure.
I'll give it a shot.
Anyway, so there's some of the football stuff there you're seeing.
You know what? I think it's great. It's one of those things where there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of different types of photography. And if you want to take a look at it as business, if you want to be taken seriously, a lot of the times it kind of dilutes that message.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're going out there and you're like, I do wedding and portrait and fine art nudes. And it's like, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of photographer you are. So
I thought it was a great idea.
So if I'm trying to get sports gigs, I'm going to send people there. So anyway, Stella Kramer, she's awesome, and she's working with me. I've also made changes to my other site, my regular site. I've gotten less categories and changed the background and limited. I got all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Sure.
Did you do this by yourself?
Oh, yeah, dude, this was like 15 minutes on Squarespace. Yeah, dude, I got to tell you, their back end is just so...
I'm cheating on Scott Kelby.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, because RC used to maintain my site, but the problem is RC's very busy, and RC's always traveling. And so, like, RC's in a hotel room at 2 in the morning, like, updating my portfolio. I felt really bad. I was, like, very guilty. So, anyway, I still have my Smug Mug. In fact, this is tied into my Smug Mug.
Is it?
Pulls the images over.
Oh,
see the little Smug Mug logo there? The smiley face right next to
right
Facebook?
Here.
Yeah. So it's tied into Smug Mug. So they have like an alliance or a partnership, or I don't understand what it is, but something good. Anyway, hey, a couple quick things we got to get going. Photoshop World last week.
Awesome.
Dude, that fun?
Awesome.
What a great week. Oh my gosh.
It's a great time. You know what? It's one of those things where it's like, we go out to a lot of different conferences. We talk to a lot of different people. I know it sounds extremely biased to be able to say it, but I mean, I really, really love the people that go to Photoshop World.
It's got its own vibe.
It's
it
a
really
vibe.
does. It feels like a family gathering. I can't explain it, but you'd have to go once. Ask anybody that's gone. So it's kind of cool.
You just leave exhausted, though.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
do.
when you're
Your
done,
mind
you're
is
just
like, "Ugh."
So it's crazy. But
So
anyway, it was good.
anyway, go to my blog, scottkelby.com, and we have a bunch of pictures. We have the wrap-up videos. So at the end of Photoshop World, we gather everybody together, and our video team is on location. They do this stuff live during the event, and then at the end we show, here's the pre-conference day, the day before, here's day one, here's highlights from day two, highlights from day three. They're short, like 2-minute videos. I put them all on my blog. If you go back maybe a day or so, maybe Monday. I think Monday. There it is. Quick look back at Photoshop, and there's the videos and all. They're cool there. And it really gives you watch those little videos, and they're just 2 minutes a piece, I think. And they really, and lots of photos. They give you an idea of what you missed. And it makes you go, oh my gosh, I've got to be there in Las Vegas. Because it's in Las Vegas next in September?
Yeah, September.
Yeah, September. All right.
First
Hey,
week of September.
couple other quick things, and we're going to take a break. Friday, I'm doing my second hockey workshop with Scott Audette from the Tampa Bay Lightning. We are at the Tampa Bay Times Forum, where we're going to be shooting, the Lightning, and it's just going to be really cool.
First time around, that just kind of just blew. Like it was just like minutes before it was sold out,
Yeah.
and it was one of those. I mean, did that kind of prompt? Hey, you know what? Let's try it again.
Well, what it was, I knew when we did it, there was only 2 times a year that we could possibly do it. Now, if the first one had been a catastrophic failure, we would not have done a second one. But the first one sold out immediately, and the second one sold out shortly thereafter. So when we announced it, it filled right up. So, but we're going to tweak a couple of things. You know what? One of the things we learned from the first one,
what's that?
People wanted more time to process their own images. Like we would shoot the morning skate. People wanted time to spend more lab time. We wanted to just teach, and they're like, shut up, let me work on my photos. So we're giving them a little more lab time and stuff. But we got a great, great schedule coming up. Starts Friday, and it's all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They get to shoot an actual Lightning game. So should be a lot of fun. Okay, let's see what else. Next week is Adobe Max.
Yeah.
That's always big. That's Adobe's big, massive conference that they do out in Los Angeles, and we're going to be there. You're teaching there.
Yeah.
Corey's we're I know Matt and we're in there for meetings and stuff.
Can I just give you my geek out moment for Adobe
Geek out,
Max?
bro.
So I'm sitting there, right? So I've gone to Max several times, and actually I'm speaking right now for Intel. And I'm doing some stuff on Core i7 processors. I spent a lot of time doing D800 files, multiple tile D800 files for HDR. So they're actually going to have 4K screens set up where you can see all the work on 4K screens. So I've been literally sitting at home geeking out over the fact that it's going to be on 4K, but at the same time, like making sure that every little bit of detail, like every Photoshop job is done. So I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be a great time.
Yes, it better be, my friend.
The Creative Conference.
The Creative Conference
By
with
Adobe.
RC. Yes. Hey, a couple last things. Giveaways. Let's do giveaways.
Okay.
So Tuesday,
Okay.
I'm in Chicago.
That's right.
My Shoot Like a Pro tour. This coming Tuesday, we're going to give away, watch me, 2 tickets
Bam.
here live to someone watching today, and 2 tickets to somebody at home that's not watching live, that's watching dead. So there it is, Chicago. See the cursor circle around it magically? Look at that.
You got Chicago. And you're also in Seattle.
I'm in Seattle May 23rd, and then the next day, May 24th, I'm in Los Angelino.
Oh, wow.
So, anyway, but Chicago, Tuesday, come out and spend the day with me. It'll be a blast. And, okay, so we're giving away two tickets, 2 and 2. Then we're giving away my CS book, a CS6 book today, signed copy of that. And we're also going to give away an On1 Suite 7. So the whole On1 Suite 7.
Yours.
Yours.
You
Boom,
can have it.
today. Hey, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be doing a current look at social media photographers, how things have changed, what photographers need to know. We're going to try to help any way we can. Stick around. We'll be right back here on The Grid. 2 and 2. We'll be back in 2 and 2, but not really. It's like 30 seconds.
I would describe my style of photography as extremely focused on expression, interaction, and authenticity. The idea of it being a lifestyle photography does fit because it really is the style of how one lives their life and what they express about themselves.
Specifically as it relates to a family, I want to think about the fact that I am photographing multiple people, but representing them as a one. These people belong to each other, and I want to show that.
why people are coming to you in the first place. Why do they want a portrait? Life is moving so fast and they want to freeze some of it. They want to stop this and remember what it is that they're doing, who it is that they love, who they are together. This is something that when they're looking back in 20, 30 years, they can then see everything about that time in their life that meant so much to them. I'm Tamara Lackey, and I'd like to invite you to check out my class on kelbytraining.com.
Oh, I got to be straight with you. Hey, we are back, Scott, here with RC.
What's going on, guys?
All right, so last week at Photoshop World, we ran a business track all 3 days, all different kinds of topics, how to sell your work, different stuff and all. But RC and I were on a panel with Glenn Dewis, who is a very, very good photographer, trainer, and social media guy from the UK. And we were talking about social media for photographers. So what we thought we would do is kind of give you some of the highlights of that. We got into all kinds of discussions and stuff, but what we found that people were trying to find out was there's so many social media avenues and new ones showing up weekly. Where should you spend your time, right? And we're not going to tell you where you should spend your time. We're going to tell you
ideas.
Yeah, each one of these, each social media today I think it's never been more clearly defined than it is today. Because it used to seem like Twitter and Google and Facebook and all these were all the same. They're all competing for the same thing. But I don't think that's the case. I think now you can go, Twitter's for this, Facebook's for this, Twitter, and Facebook. No, each one of them are different and they each have a different use. And because I think they all have kind of now got their own niche. They've all kind of found a way to say, well, this is what we're good for photographers. Now, I'm sure all of them would like as many people as Facebook has, but there's definitely a difference. So we're going to go kind of social media by social media, tell you how we see it. And we're not the bottom line on this, of course. This is just our opinions and views on them. So your opinions or views may vary, which is why we're taking your questions. So if you want to send us a question or anything, you can put it right there in the chat. Or, of course, you can be on Twitter and just, if you put the hashtag #TheGridLive, the # and the grid live, it comes right over to us. Says, look at RC go. He just
as I go find #TheGridLive,
as he goes finds #TheGridLive, and we'll monitor those well. So we're taking your questions, and we really want to. In fact, the first question has already come in. Riker VP says, is it okay or good to cover a few avenues of photography to hopefully gain as much business as possible? For instance, I use social media heavily and show a broad range of photography, mainly portraiture. So, well, we're going to kind of go through that. We're going to kind of answer that without answering that direct question, or maybe at the end we'll be able to search back. But we're going to start with Twitter. And so Twitter has been really, Twitter has been kind of chugging along. In the last year, it's kind of really exploded.
And you know what? I actually forecasted the death of Twitter probably about a year ago. And I got to say, I feel wrong about this.
I think you probably are.
I feel very wrong about this. But it was literally like...
But the fact that you say that you're wrong makes me love you even more.
See? That's honesty.
Honesty. Well, you know what, though? I was of the same mind, too. You know what I think of? I think of Twitter is like texting to the public. It's like, and you know what's the most frustrating thing? So I'll tell you something frustrating for me. So I'll go over to Facebook and I'll go, hey, we're live on the grid at 4 o'clock today. Our topic is a current look at social media for photographers. Join me and RC. We have some giveaways, and we're taking your questions live. Take it and put it on Google+. I take it and put it in Twitter, and it says, you're over by 287 characters. I'm over by 287 characters? It's texting. Okay, anyway, but I want to tell you some of the things that I think okay, Instagram Randy says, I never understood Twitter and how it's used. Okay, can I tell you some of the things that I think Twitter is great for? Twitter is great for, number one, getting help. If you need help on anything, like, hey man, I'm in Seattle tomorrow and I need an assistant to help me. Not that they'll come for free, but I need an assistant. You'll have responses.
Crowdsourcing.
Crowdsourcing. People will go out and find you. I need a location for this. People will line up to give you locations. And you can say, oh, okay, well, you have a lot of Twitter followers. What about me? I only have 30. You'll get substantially less if you have 30. But part of this broadcast today is about building your numbers. So, but I think Twitter is great for getting help. It's great for getting a quick opinion. It's great for getting advice. It's great for You said it, crowdsourcing.
Well, it's crowdsourcing, and also it's a real time. I once read something that called it. It was like the super fresh web, which is all dealing with the concept of real immediate news. So it's like if you take a look at it from one of the reasons that I thought it wasn't dead. I was actually talking to Mike Wyasek out at Google, and he was talking to me about it. And he's like, if Twitter's ever proven to be a great platform, it's for news. Anything that's happening like newsworthy, anything that's happening kind of immediate. Like if you follow the stuff in the Boston bombing. Right. CNN was back by like 2.5 hours. Everything was happening in real time on Twitter. So anytime that you need something that's very immediate, that's very right now, that's something that's happening to you. So let's say that you're out on a shoot and you need something. Yeah. You want to talk to different people. That all has to do with the right now. It has to do with, getting all of that kind of stuff. So I think that it's a great way to be able to do it. And I think that what happens is a lot of the times people don't know how to tap that stuff. So everybody's talking about photography, right? So let's say Riker VP. Let's just say, for example, you want to go and you want to talk to somebody about Seattle photography, right? And you want to do that. So you'll go into Twitter, you'll go into something like this, and you'll start typing, I'm looking for, Seattle photography. I'll go ahead and I'll just make sure that I have
make sure our
thing is connected here.
He's checking to make sure his thing is connected here.
Yeah, I got to make sure that my
That's
thing
the technical term. We're very technical here. He's trying
let's
to
just
see
say that let's say that I'm
connected.
on this website and I just type in looking for photography in Tampa. Now, need help now. Right. So this is what it would look like. And a lot of the times people would write that. However, if you wanted to kind of take a look at something here and you wanted to be able to get some more searches, I could do this. Photography, #. So I'm just going to add # photography, # Tampa. Need help now. And then you would say whatever it is that you want to say. Yeah. So now these two things that we have right here are called hashtags, right? So #, whatever the name is a hashtag. The power in Twitter is really not so much you talking, shouting into this crowded room, but it's doing that kind of stuff. If I come over here at the very, very top now.
Yeah, so what happens when you put in a hashtag?
And I type in, so I type in # Tampa, # photography. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm looking for people, a real-time conversation of things that are happening right now.
In Tampa with photographers.
So, and there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that go out and they use different apps like TweetDeck to kind of go out there and search and mine this conversation.
So there's this conversation going on, whether you're involved in it or not, of Tampa photographers.
Right.
So if you want to have your feed show up in Tampa photographers, then you put in # photography or # Tampa. So then all of a sudden now you're in the conversation. And other people will go, now if you have something interesting or something, something newsworthy or some way to help, or you're helping somebody else, you'll get noticed. That's one way to help build an audience, is you start showing up in the stream with people that had no idea who you were. Because we had a guy come up to us in Photoshop World and said, okay, I just got on Twitter, I have 0 followers. We're like, oh.
Now, so for that guy that did that, this is what I would do. So think of it this way. So think of it as a room, right? If you go onto Twitter and you're doing this and you're going in here and you're searching, let's say photography. So you search for photography, you hit the enter key. This is a real-time conversation of anybody who's talking about photography. Think of it as almost as a giant room of a cocktail conversation of people that are talking about photography. At any point in time, you could see something here and you can go, oh, National Geographic, photo world of the day. And you would just reply. And that was a wonderful photo. And you could start a conversation with these people. You're finding individuals that you associate with, that you agree with, that you're interested in. And by looking at this giant cocktail conversation, you're going in and you're going, hey, how do you do? My name is RC. I do photography. I do it over here. Yeah. And you're introducing and you're meeting people, and that's how your user base can grow.
And once they strike a conversation with you, they feel, okay, great, they will start follow you back. Not everybody, but people will follow you back. So, but business-wise, it's great if you do the # photography, # Tampa. Because if you're trying to get business, it doesn't do you much good if there's an opening for a job at a wedding this weekend in Alaska, in Anchorage. So by putting in # Tampa, now you've taken the whole world you're talking to, and now you're talking to photographers in Tampa.
Now,
so there is, like RC says, you're walking into a conversation, but you can decide whether the conversation is every photographer in the world, and literally the world, or every photographer in just your city.
Now, it's Riker, you had said something about shooting different types of things and whether or not it's a good business model for you to be able to do it. I disagree. There's a lot of people that are out there that talk about, being a generalist and working in as many different places as possible. I think I'm of the opinion of there's always the doctor analogy, right? So let's say that right now I have a heart attack. If I have a heart attack right now and I just collapse, and you're taking me to a hospital, there's going to be 3 doors. There's the general practitioner, there's the family doctor, and there's the cardiac surgeon. Which one are you going to go to? Or which, cardiac specialist? You're always going to go to the person who's the specialist. So by advertising very specifically, right, not clouding the message, I think that you're going to have a much better result on that kind of stuff, clearing that kind of conversation. Much in the same way that you were talking about from sports. You don't want people to see your sports and your landscapes and your people and your fashion and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
If he just wants to deal with sports where it's at.
Plus, with that separate site, by the way, I can add SEO just for sports.
Exactly. So there's a good strategy for that kind of stuff. You could still do it, but I probably would just separate them. I mean, in these days, it's $8 a domain, $9 a domain. The websites are actually relatively easy to buy. I would probably think about separating.
Right. All right, so Twitter, great for finding people. You know what I think it's bad for? Now, of course, someone's going to go, oh, well, I think it's bad for finding business. I don't hardly ever talk to a photographer that said, I got business off of Twitter. I can't remember the last time that I talked to a photographer that said, I'm getting business off of Twitter. I hear people say, I love Twitter. All my friends are on it. We're constantly going back and forth. I'm getting help. I'm asking questions. I'm interacting. I don't hear someone go, man, I got this great job off Twitter. So, and I think what Twitter is good is to lead someone to your portfolio, lead someone to your website. I think it's great for leading people to look where you might get work. But I don't hear anybody getting work off of Twitter. So, to give my pros and cons, pros are, I think Twitter is very useful for photographers for connecting with other photographers, getting help from other photographers. Crowdsourcing is a perfect word for it.
I came up with one more.
Oh, and one more.
Twitter stalking. I had never heard anybody explain this more from a very, very manipulative kind of marketing kind of way than Lindsay Adler. Lindsay was talking, she did a presentation about it, and I was like, this made perfect sense. She wants to talk to different editors, she wants to talk to different publishers and things like that for any kind of work that she's doing, any kind of work that she wants to pitch. So let's just make up, Vogue magazine or something. She'll find an editor, she'll go through Twitter, and she'll try to find connections for these people on social media, and she'll start establishing a relationship with them, talking to them about the things that they're talking about. By doing that, she creates a little bit of a foothold before she actually shows any kind of work.
Twitter is great for that.
So I thought it was a really, really good way to be able to see it. I was just like, it's not just, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. But she's actually very, very, she's very focused in using that as a
On
platform.
Twitter, I put out a tweet, said, hey, I'm shooting the St. Pete Grand Prix. So I'm already in the St. Pete Grand Prix. I'm already shooting it. I'm not driving, I'm shooting. But I said, anybody got a connection with a racing team? Guy contacts me, what are you looking for? Now, I wasn't able to get to a racing team, but he was able to get me access to something I've never shot before from the airport tower that's on the track. Track runs down part of an airport. We were up in it. You have to get the air traffic controller's permission. He had their permission. I got to shoot from up there. So it opened a door, but that's perfect stuff for Twitter. Like you said, you kind of go through this person, make a connection to this person, then you're talking to the editor of Vogue. You know what I mean? That's the other thing that's interesting about Twitter. Because everybody's on it, you can talk to people you'd never, like if you wanted to talk to the president of Pepsi, you probably could send a message, tweet. And the president of Pepsi would answer you back. Try calling the president of Pepsi. Hey! And they're like, oh, I'm sorry.
What's up, Pepsi president?
Hey, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I was going to go to Facebook next, but I see questions about Google+. Can we jump right to Google+?
Sure.
So let's go to Google+ after this break. So that's our Twitter. Let's go to Google+. And taking your question, we're going to read a whole bunch of them right when we come back from the break. Don't go away.
For more than 25 years, Peachpit has been home to the world's best authors and continues to publish the best books, ebooks, videos, and apps. Whether you're an aspiring or established photographer, Peachpit is here to help you learn new techniques and inspire your creativity. Peachpit, the future looks creative.
That one.
No.
Hey, we're back. Scott with RC here. Hey, we're going to read a couple of these comments here, but before we do, hey, we've got a special deal. A Peachpit Press, the people that publish my books and RC's books, they have a special deal. Their deal is it's on the Nikon D600. So if you have a D600, then you get 40% off on the ebook from. It's not even the ebook. Oh, yeah, it is the ebook deal. 40% off from Rob Sylvan. We love Rob. Rob was at Photoshop World. He's a terrific guy, and he works for us, so we dig him big time. It's normally $23.99. You get 40% off. It's $14.39. All right, so there you go.
Not bad.
Not bad. All right.
Thank you very much, Peach.
I'll read a couple of your comments real quick. Cody Ash says, I think Facebook is dying. The user base isn't dying, but the content and relevance is not there. I tend to agree with you, Cody. Well, I don't think it's dying. I think Facebook will be around until something better comes along. But content is not Facebook's strong point. We'll talk about that in a second. Jaragon 14?
Haragon.
Haragon.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Something. So where does Google Plus fall? I don't see G Plus growing as a place to be as it appeared it would grow last year. We're going to talk about that first. Jose O says, I personally use Twitter for instant news and information, not so much for connecting with someone. Okay.
Yep.
Christopher Arnold, Twitter is now the Mystery Science Theater 3000 during events like the Oscars, political debates, or the Super Bowl.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's fun.
It's good for people to have that kind of connective sense of something, you know.
Yeah.
To sit down and watch it, and what do they call it? They call it co-viewing, I think.
Yeah.
Where you sit down and actually cover an event like that. I think that's a good thing.
Bill McKim, why do you need the hashtag? Can't you search without it? You technically can, but you know what? Now you have to try to work the words photography and Tampa into your sentences. At the end of your tweet, if you just go pound Tampa, pound photography, you don't have to try to make a clever way of working the words Tampa. It's like, hey, does anybody Tampa? No.
Right.
It makes your life easier just to put the hashtag and the word. GSY or
GSI guy.
GSY
Says this is GSY guy.
Yeah.
GSY guy. Jissy guy.
He says this is the pound sign, and he shows the British pound sign.
This is a hashtag.
This is a hashtag.
Is this an appropriate time to remind you that you've got it wrong, GSI guy? Just because you guys use it. Totally kidding. Totally kidding.
All right, let's talk about G+. Okay, so here's how I see Google+. Google+ is still growing. It is still growing. It's doing really well in certain categories. And, you know, it's, what is it now, the fourth largest?
I thought it was. No, I thought it went up. Actually, I thought it went up since.
Here's what I think Google+ for photographers is absolutely wonderful for. Google+ is where you go to learn photography. There is a ton of photography and photographers and a really strong community on Google+. There's all kinds of live hangouts. There's people putting up videos. And it's also very easy to find out who the very popular photographers are on Google+. You can just go to Google+. You could find, they recommend all kinds of photographers. RC's recommended there. You can find all kinds of photographers, good photographers that are really active in the community. Go to Facebook and try to find who the #1 photographer is.
No.
It's almost impossible. But on Google+, they built the whole thing. The whole thing of Google feels like it was photographers. So look at Google+ as a place to go to be inspired. There's beautiful photography, tons of people putting up photography every single day. Then there's that the site that takes the 7 best or 12 best shots of Google every day and puts them out there. So Google+ by itself, I think, is a great learning tool. It's a great inspiration tool. It's still not a good place to make money yet. I know that there's some people making money there like there's some people making Twitter, but I don't think of Google+ as, I'm going to go build this thing because my clients are there, because I don't really know if your clients are there.
No.
So I'm going to say that your clients aren't there. What I'm going to say is other photographers are there, okay? Now, So that's the good thing about Google+. The only bad thing about Google+ that I can figure is, because there's a lot of it, I think as far as a developed system, not how many people are on there, but is a really, really best, like, I think for the best conceived, best put together, best implemented social media site, I think it wins hands down. Except for one thing. Can I gripe about one thing?
Sure.
May I look at you when I gripe?
Oh, yes.
RC?
Yes, please gripe.
Why, when you put together a photo album, can you not rearrange the photos, the order of the photos?
I have no idea.
Seriously, you can't rearrange. Like, I have to think, put this photo first, then put this photo second, this photo third. I can't just go, here's 20 images, upload them, and then say this. It's like the easiest thing in the world. You're Google, for God's sakes. Google. Google.
Yeah.
Big, little G, couple of O's.
Google.
Google.
Now, that said,
They do amazing things.
We do
like
have an in. Brian, what you call it?
Matish.
Brian Matish is over there.
Yeah.
This could be something we could log in with him.
Brian, can we freaking get the ability, I don't know of any photo album that doesn't. Now, somebody would come back at Google and go, well, technically, Scott, if you went into Picasa and then you did 12, 15 steps, you could eventually, like, oh, really? You know what makes me the maddest? Can we see RC's machine real quick?
Wait, here, I'm just going to take these random pictures that I have here of my daughter and I playing with puppets.
Puppets.
Yeah, we love puppets. Add to album. I'm going to call these puppets.
Puppets.
Now, did it take my what?
Yeah, just hit that album.
Okay, so now, I'm not going to share that album.
Share it.
But I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to photos. You know what? This is going to take forever.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This is what kills me about it, though. Once can you go to one that already has some albums? Just go to the puppet one, where the puppets were. This is what kills me about it the most.
I'm not sure what's going to show up. So
Is this something naughty?
probably.
Okay, forget it. RC,
No,
you know
don't
what?
get
Can
it.
I say something? RC, stop with the nude self-portraits. For God's sakes, the guy takes more nude self-portraits than anybody I've ever met. Click the gear, then organize images.
I'm going to look at that after the. I'll look at that after the
Does
break.
it say organize images under there?
No.
No,
But
doesn't
it's
say
under an
that.
album.
Okay, but I can't find it anywhere except for going to Picasa.
There we go. Puppets.
Where's-
Gear.
I don't see organize images. Go see settings. Maybe it's there. But here's what makes me mad. Click and drag one.
Oh, here we go. Organize album.
Does it let you do it now?
Wait.
Nope.
Wait. Maybe I have unselect all of them here.
It says click on more.
Okay. This is.
No, it's not working. It looks like it wants to organize.
Yeah. This sucks. All right. Wait. That did
Wait,
it.
did it do it?
Yeah.
You just got to drop it carefully.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
so you got to click it once.
Well, that's better.
Then click it and move it.
All right. Hey, I take the whole thing back.
Okay. So that's not bad.
This still doesn't change RC's nudity thing. The
I was very concerned.
nude self-portraits.
Totally kidding.
Yeah, because he keeps sending them to me. Anyway, back to our story. All right. So G Plus is apparently better than I thought. So now let's arrange this. Okay.
Just cut this part out.
I'm glad I had this show now because I don't have to just drive myself crazy. All right. So Google Plus, great for finding photographers, great for interacting for photographers, great for learning from photographers, great for inspiration. Customers probably aren't there. Let's take a couple things. That Jaragon guy says, yes, G Plus is driven by photographers, but no one else is there. Now that's not true. That is
yeah.
so not true.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, you know what?
You're just not looking for the right.
Yeah.
Like there's people like there's a lot of communication
Britney
that happens.
Spears is there and
Britney
has
Spears is
millions
there.
of followers, so there's a lot of teens there.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in government. Like the White House has a lot of
Oh, yeah.
stuff there.
There's
Seeing
a ton of
There's
stuff.
a lot of different things that are there.
Right. But if you're comparing it to Facebook, where everybody in the world is on Facebook, you're right. There's not as many people on Facebook. But you know what, though? For as popular as Twitter is, a lot of people I talk to say, oh, I'm not on Twitter. So a lot of techies are on Twitter.
So search engine
Here we go.
Google Plus surpasses Twitter, becomes second largest social network. So this is January 30th.
Yeah, so look,
2013.
Google, number 2. So somebody's got to be there.
Yeah. Still, Facebook still by a big margin.
Oh, yeah,
though.
Facebook is still...
So you can't, I mean, and I think that the point with all of this kind of stuff is that you really can't ignore Facebook. I mean, Facebook has to be a part of
Did
your
they show
strategy.
your screen?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. All right.
It does have to be a part of the strategy, but I think that Google Plus happens to be something where, you know, you share a lot of information. You're not really kind of selling there a lot. You're just kind of sharing for the sake of community.
Right. So N734BV, which I would say step one is get a easier name, is sounds like you would take a lot of time to keep monitoring Twitter and Facebook and Google+. How do you divide your time between all of these services while still trying to make money? So we haven't got to the make money part. We've showed you 2 services where it's hard to make money. We haven't got to the make money part. But can I tell you something too? And this is really important. Not everything has to be about making money. Sometimes it's just about nude self-portraits. There you go. No, but seriously, can't we have fun? Can't we be inspired? Can't we laugh? Can't we enjoy? Can't we see LOL cats? There are other things. Not everything has to be. I'm on social media because I want to make a buck. There's other reasons to use social media just for enjoyment and for happiness and to be inspired. And
that said, it is.
Why does it always come down to that?
Well, I mean, it comes down to money. I mean, but one of the things that it sounds like it's a lot, but when you really sit down and you take a look at least for myself, I have to preface this by saying, because it's like my wife always argues with me about it because she gets tired of seeing this. Right? And that's kind of, I just read that message. But what happens
she sees
is
a lot of this.
Yes. But what happens is you actually can come up with a strategy for you to be able to work this through. It just takes a little bit. You just kind of need to understand. You need to understand kind of how to be able to set it up. Like once you understand that, you know, Google Plus is more of a sharing and not necessarily a sell. Twitter is more of an announcement. It's kind of news. And then you think about your own blog. When I'm working on a blog post, I'm very specific about how I do it. I post on the blog first, it switches over to the Twitter, then from Twitter, I'll go ahead and I'll bounce over to Google+. So at the end of the day, when I'm doing that blog, it only takes like maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Every 4 hours.
You know, every 4 hours. And after that, it's not too much.
Don't do it.
So I wouldn't necessarily.
So during a business day, twice.
Yeah.
Every 4 hours.
And you know what? Here's the funny part about social media. If we back up a little bit on this kind of thing, everybody's beginning to notice this also. If you follow anybody that's doing anything on social media, let's say like Guy Kawasaki, he talked about it, and I thought it was interesting that he said it. And he's like, I only post up until a specific time because then at that point, this region of the country wakes up and it turns into all spam. You'd be surprised as to what Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus turn into later on in the evening. So there's a lot of people that hold
all nude self-portraits.
There's a lot of people that hold a lot of their meat, a lot of their content, and go, you know what? I'm just going to hold it until I'm just going to go ahead and hold it and just push this out later on in the morning. So I'll take the content, and if I have something really, really good I want to be able to share,
Brad,
I'll go ahead and just. He's really looking. He's just into holding my meat.
Okay. Here we go.
I had a good point. Basically, what people are doing is they're taking their stuff and they're holding it until 9 o'clock in the morning. And then they dump everything at 9 o'clock in the morning, or they dump it at key parts of the day. You should do the same thing. If you're doing this, make a blog post, launch it at very specific times of the day, and then just monitor very, very slowly after.
Okay. So I got lost in the middle of that. Hey, we got some questions here. M Daddy Rabbit. I like that name. It could be a rapper. Yo, it's M Daddy Rabbit.
I want to attract more than local folks to my website. What is the best way to do that? The best way for you to do that is 3 things. I talked about this at the conference. Engage, entice, inform. Set up some sort of strategy where you're writing stuff on your blog that does one of the 3. Engage, entice, inform. So let's say you make an interesting post, right? You want to engage somebody. You want to have them know a little bit about you. Get people to know you, and then use something like Twitter where you turn around and go, listen, I just talked to you about something that happened to me. An interesting moment that happened with me. You have to share a little bit of yourself. In order
hey, M Daddy Rabbit, could you follow up with letting us know like what kind of photography you do? Yeah. Because that's kind of like saying, what kind of car should I buy? So let us know a little bit more. Just drop us a line here and just say, I'm a wedding photographer, I'm a portrait photographer, whatever you're doing. And I think we can come back to you and maybe answer that a little more intelligently. Kevin Graham, is there going to be a second Google Plus Photographers Conference, or is that a one-time deal? That was a one-time deal. Let me tell you what, the most expensive place in the world to do a conference is San Francisco. My goodness, was it expensive. So, and of course, Google was the main sponsor, and they helped us. That's why we're still on the air today. But God bless Google. Especially since you can now organize your images. I love them even more. But yeah, it was pretty much a one-time deal. If we do something like that, what was weird about it was it was originally conceived to be like a social media conference, and then the photography like took it over. And it was, of all the things we've ever done, I think it's the coolest conference, hands down, we ever did. It was amazing to be there. And everybody that went there left like, wow. I mean, it was incredible. But San Francisco's they could not make it possibly tougher for you to do a conference there. And Google's out there, and they probably wouldn't want to do one in Tampa.
Yeah.
Now, Tampa, we could do a hell of a conference here. Cost about $12 to put it on. Do it at 10. Hey, we're gonna take a break. Hey, Brad loves break time. He writes in big letters, "It's break time." Woohoo! Wow, Brad, he
really loves his breaks.
Man, he loves his breaks. So, hey, just to recap as we take our break, because we have a lot more comments here. Number one is Google is a great Google Plus, great source for inspiration, for learning, for sharing with other photographers. The photography community is great there. The downside, your clients probably aren't there. I don't hear a lot of photographers making money there, but I think I'd rather spend my time on Google Plus than any of them. I think
for playing.
For learning and enjoying and connecting and sharing and interacting with other photographers. I think it's wonderful for that. And
are you selling?
No. Okay. Hey, we come back. Let's go right to Facebook when we come back. So stick around. We got a whole lot more right here on The Grid. I noticed.
The key to the headshot and capturing a great headshot or portrait for that matter is expression. You can have great lighting, you can have a great subject, you can have a killer background, but if you don't have expression, in my opinion, you got nothing. Hey, my name's Peter Hurley. I'm a portrait photographer in New York, and here I am in my city. I knew I was a portrait photographer because that's what I do. I just am intrigued by the fact that we all look so different. We have so many different expressions we can make. Why not go for them? Maniacal. The art of capturing expression is simply working with your subject to get organic and spontaneous life out of them, human stuff. Now, forehead like a chicken. Hold that, I like that, good. When you have a person, technical is out the window. I'm 90% therapist, 10% photographer. The technical's done. I'm Peter Hurley, and it's all about making faces in portraiture. Come check out my class at kelbytraining.com. Shebang, shebang, shebang! #1 catchphrase.
And we're back.
Blast off.
Hello, RC.
Hello.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
All right.
Just got over the meat thing.
Yeah, it's going to take some therapy. Hey,
wash my hands.
Couple more things. Fireleaf, our buddy at Fireleaf says, if you have a studio location, make sure you have a completed Google Places page. It's free.
Right. So
you know
just
what?
go right here.
Everything on Google Plus is free. It's free city.
Right. Google.com/business/places for your business. This is where you can go. Just kind of sign in.
Yeah,
and get
give
started.
a physical location. Blue Crow says, do you or RC ever have a hangout on G+? RC has a hangout approximately, and I'm not joking, every 6 minutes.
No. I used to do it quite a bit.
No, you used to be on there all the time.
I was on it quite a bit, and I was doing a lot of hangouts, and I would do like portfolio reviews, or I would look at any kind of Photoshop things, just talk photography. But to be honest with you, I just over the last like 6 months, it just got a little bit busier, and so at work I'm really, really busy, and then at home there's only so much.
You're writing
so many
a
hours
book, aren't
in the
you?
day. Yeah.
Yeah. See.
So it's one of those things where it's just like, I got to put everything down, and I got to kind of, and Call of Duty, the new maps.
Call of Duty. I haven't even downloaded the new maps.
They're pretty good.
You know why?
Why?
Writing a book.
All right.
Anyway, hey, Blue Crow, okay, that was Blue Crow. Brian Hanna and Kevin L. kind of have the same thing. Brian says, I hate seeing the same posts on Twitter, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera.
Robo-posting, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Right.
But you can do something about that. There's a way
here's what I would
that.
say to Brian is not everybody follows everybody on both, right? You're following the same person on Twitter and on Facebook, you're going to see the same posts. Just like Guy Kawasaki, you know, Guy posts numerous places, and I see Guy's same message, and I'm okay with it because I chose to follow Guy on 5 different social media platforms. But not everybody does the same one. And then Kevin says, does it make sense to retweet or post the same information throughout the day? I think it's a different crowd that follows you on Facebook than follows you on Twitter for sure, than follows you on the other one. So if you're following somebody on 2 or 3 different social medias, I don't know of many photographers that have a completely different message all day long on all 3.
Now, that said, Kevin, I would probably do that. Like, I would jump in and I would say, hey, listen, wrote a blog post about this, and then, you know, like in the middle of the day or, you know, in the afternoon, I turn around and go, you know, PM repost this one specific thing. So just to get into the conversation, think of it as just a giant conversation that's happening, and that conversation gets recycled quite a bit.
Yeah.
New people are going in. You want to make sure that you just kind of pump it in there. Don't start getting, you know, every hour, take a look at this, take a look at this, take a look at this. You lose a little bit of authenticity in that. And I think that by just kind of talking about it and just going, hey, listen, I really wrote this, I want you to take a look at it again, you'd be okay.
All right, Don in PHX, that's got to be Philadelphia, right? That's not that airport. Off subject, since Google's acquisition of Nick, y'all seem to push on one now. Reason why?
I'm actually a big fan of Nick.
Yeah. We're still big fans of Nick, but we've been using On One stuff for a while now. I can tell you this is totally off the record, and no, I don't have any inside information about this whatsoever, but I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think Nick's plugins are going to be around for very long. I think they're gone.
Really?
I really do.
I happen to think Matt and I got into it quite a bit a couple of shows ago, and I was like, I think we're actually going to see even bigger things from it.
Nah. Let me tell you what. They just cut their prices to $149. Now they're $127 for the whole plugin set. Everybody that had one of their plugins got all the rest free. This is what you do before you stop doing it. Dude, look, Google, do you really think Google it wants to get in the we're going to sell Photoshop plugins business? Think about it.
I think it's a bigger play.
Google doesn't sell any software, right? They don't sell any software, consumer software. Yeah, I do think it's a bigger play. I think that they bought Nick to do stuff for Google. Like, in the cloud. Come on, help me out. In the cloud. But honestly, I think this is my own. I have no insights. Don't say Scott Kelby just said. This is just my personal opinion. No one at Google would even talk to me about this. And if they did, they would never admit it, even if they knew the real story. But you cannot tell me that Google bought Nick's software to make Photoshop plugins. No way. I don't see any freaking scenario. Tell me, RC, do you think that's why they bought Google? To make plugins? Because Google wanted to get in the plugin business for Photoshop.
I think
for Adobe products.
I think that it's going, okay, how I see it, and again, this has nothing to do with it. I think that you're going to see a Photoshop competitor program. I could see them say, forget Photoshop and turn into a standalone.
Not computer-based, not desktop-based.
I would say browser-based.
Right, so they're not going to be making software you buy. Do you really think people, let's say, what would Google charge for it? $200? You think people are going to go, I'm going to buy a web-based browser thing for $300?
I can see them giving it away.
I can see them giving it away, absolutely. Which brings us back to the plugins. Are they going to be selling plugins? Come on, think about it.
I don't know, man. I have hope.
Google in the business.
I have hope.
There's no way.
Don't prove me wrong, Google. Come on,
dude.
Man.
That's why they're doing all this fire sale. They're getting rid of all their inventory.
So you think that this isn't a readjustment to be competitive? You think this is a fire sale?
I don't think it's a fire sale. I think this is, we're going to basically make all of our customers happy. We're going to give them all this free stuff. We're going to lower the price. And that way when we walk away and say, well, we're not, look, they're no longer supporting Capture NX2, right? They canceled Snapseed's desktop. The only desktop software they had, they just canceled.
It kind of sucked. Totally kidding.
Snapseed for the Mac sucked?
No, Snapseed for the phone was awesome. I wasn't particularly a big fan.
Dude, it worked the same way. Yeah. It was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, there is no, okay, I don't want to go way off topic. There's no way.
This is a separate show altogether.
Write it down. I said on this date, I think by the end of the year, there will be no more Nick plugins.
April 24th.
Write it down.
April
End of the
24th,
year,
450. I'm going to say...
hoard your Nick plugins now.
I'm
Hoard
going
them.
to say
Hoard
they're
them.
actually going to do something bigger.
They may do something bigger, but you're not going to buy it, and it's not going to be desktop.
Okay.
And if they do something bigger, why would they still maintain this whole thing? I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope I'm telling you. I hope I can tell you.
I hope on December 31st you can go, eat it, eat it, eat it. Remember back on April 24th when you were so wrong, you're such a vegetable. How are we doing on time?
10
good.
minutes.
No, that's pretty good for us. Okay, let's move on. We haven't talked about Facebook yet. You know what Facebook is?
The place where your mom goes.
Place where your sister goes.
The place where your friends go.
You know what else is there?
Your mom. Like that kind of...
Still your mom.
No, I mean like that kind of... I thought you were going with the entire relative.
Dude, I
family.
set you up
Oh,
in
sorry.
such a way. Let's do it again.
All right.
But this time, tune in with me.
All right, got it.
You know who's on Facebook?
Everybody. I am.
Your mom's on there.
My mom's on there.
Your sister's on there.
My sister's on there.
Who else is on there, RC?
All my friends.
Who else besides your friends?
Your customers.
Yes, yes. This is where I hear people again and again and again and again saying, I'm making money is off of Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to advertise on Facebook. It's easy to buy keywords on Facebook. It's easy to post. We had Dixie Dixon sitting in this very chair.
That one?
Well, that one. Anyway, she was in a chair and she would,
Sorry.
I'm serious. I'm going to open a new can of co-hosts. I got a can sitting right over there, a 55-gallon drum with other co-hosts ready to come in that do not take nude self-portraits, do not make disgusting references to stuff that we
I said nothing.
eat and stuff. So look, Pete, open that can.
Get me Rick Salmon.
And it's factory fresh. It's a fresh co-host. All right. So listen, Lindsay Adler, when they tell their stories of how they built their business, successful businesses, I'm like, wow, they did it right. And I really think, although you know what it is? I think people love Facebook, and I think they hate Facebook, the company. Like Facebook, the company, just every day they come up with something new to. Hey, can I tell you something? I had my Google epiphany today, right? I learned that you can I learned that you can actually edit a post today on Facebook after you've posted it. Do you know how? Not by deleting and Seriously, there's a way.
So let's say that I'm over here in Facebook.
Yeah, and you wrote a post. Because what's weird is you can absolutely edit your comments, but you can't edit your post.
So right here, you click right here. That's edit album. So that's not it. Oh, here, this one, edit. Oh, that's edit album too. I can't edit my post.
Here's the thing. You actually can edit your post if you put a picture up with it.
Really?
If your post has a picture, go to edit, go to edit album, I'm sorry, not edit album, hit cancel. Go to anyone just where you put a photo up, not actually added it into an album. Do you add everything into an album?
I do everything into.
Do you really put it in an album?
No, I just add photo. I just click on add photo.
All right, is it delete photo? No, hang on. I just did this today. It was so great. No, because I put up a post and I'm telling my wife, and I'm like, I can't believe Facebook doesn't let you edit. And then I went and did a search, and all these people are griping at Facebook. I can't believe we can't edit. And then a guy says, by the way, if you have a photo, you can edit. You just go back to that photo. Oh, here's what I did, RC. Oh. You know what shows the photos? Yeah, right there, edit. He just did it. There it is. Show him what you did.
Okay, here we go. So here I am on the post right now.
All right, there's the post.
This is my page.
That's your page.
At facebook.com/photorc.
Meow, meow.
So if you click on the picture itself, you go right here to edit.
There's edit. And then you can go edit the text. As long as you have a picture, you're gold.
I learned something today.
I learned 2 things today.
Wow. Wow. This is amazing.
Mind
blown.
Okay. So if we agree that your customers are there because everybody's there, watch.
Everybody.
That's taking up all the space on the set. I can go a little further. Okay. Angelica or Angelica.
Angelica.
It's Angelica.
That's what it is.
Hi, Angelica. It's just on Rugrats. But how do you get to a bigger audience than Facebook? I guess you have to have an actual Facebook page.
Yes.
That's a start. All right, RC.
It helps. It helps.
Give me some tips. Now, I'll tell you what, a lot of photographers, like wedding photographers and stuff, you know, they're inviting everybody. If they're doing a wedding, they're inviting all the bridesmaids, because the bridesmaids at a wedding are your next potential customers.
Mm-hmm.
So
you know what? One of the things
they're inviting all the vendors, they're tagging everybody in there.
And that's what I was going to say. One of the things that I thought was cool on Facebook is that there is all of that kind of it's basically digital word of mouth. And a lot of that stuff happens in this one space.
Hey, that's a good quote. RC Concepcion. Facebook is?
Digital word of mouth.
Digital word of mouth.
Right, because everybody's following everybody there, right? So you get all these people that you know, people that you don't know, people that you kind of know. So you create this giant community. And if you're a person, let's say you sell portraiture, and you do let's say I do a portrait of Pete Collins, right? So immediately I'm going to talk to Pete. I'm like, thank you so much. This is wonderful. I want to, you know, make a picture of you, and I'm so happy that you did. I'm going to follow you on Facebook. I'm going to connect with you on Facebook. So I'm going to make a post on Facebook, and I'm going to say, I just finished spending the day with Pete Collins making a portrait. It was a wonderful time. We had a great thing, and I'm going to post one picture. Now, I would take it into a couple of different things, which is one of the things that we haven't talked about, which is I wouldn't give the entire farm on Facebook. I would post something along the lines of, I had a great time with Pete. Here's one picture. If you want to see the rest of the pictures, go to my blog, go to my website, bring people from there. And then I would tag Pete. So Pete's going to see it. Pete's going to be interested in it. Pete then can take that and pass that along to his friends, to Pete's friends. So Pete's going to have people in his immediate area. So let's say Pete lives in Tampa, Florida. There's going to be people that he's friends with here in Tampa, Florida that are going to be able to see that. They're going to see that he's on the blog. They're going to see that he looks good. And that sends your service to
all of Pete's friends.
And then Pete's friends can see that, and if they like it, then they're going to share it on.
Right, and it is organic. It's going to start really small. Mm-hmm. If you shoot a wedding, and so let's just say that you shoot a wedding. Immediately, you take you put the. Oh wait, hold on. I mean, how do you reach more than 30 friends?
Angelica says, I didn't mean that. I meant how do you?
Angelica.
Oh, Angelica. I didn't mean that. I meant how you get to reach more than your 30 friends that you might have.
Right, that's what I was about to explain. So here's how you reach the 30 friends. So you shoot a wedding. Now, I'm assuming that, Angelica, you're a wedding photographer. If you're not, it's just going to be tougher. Okay, but it's the same lines along what RC said with the portrait. You shoot the bride. You take a picture of the bride. You post it on your page. You give that link to the bride, to the bride's parents, and then sit back. They're going to send all these people to your page. They're going to send all of her friends. She's going to post it on her Facebook page, the parents' Facebook page. I heard some photographers talking about if they shoot a wedding, they send all the Facebook links to every vendor, the caterer, the florist, to everybody, because they all have a piece of this pie. The bride's holding a bouquet. They're standing in a church. They're eating. They can say, "Oh, what a beautiful wedding! Janice was so lovely. We were very proud to have produced the catering for their reception. What an incredible time!" All their friends see it. So what you need to do is you need to create posts that make other people want to share it to their friends. That's how you get more and more people saying, "Hey, this is kind of interesting." Now, if all you're going to do is just put a picture of the bride on there, I would also, for like if I was going to be a wedding photographer in Tampa, Florida. We use Tampa, Florida and all because none of us have ever been there. Right. Anyway, if you're going to be in Tampa, I would certainly want to do a post that says, florists I recommend in Tampa, Florida. Or how to find the best florist, or what are the hot colors for flowers this year, or anything that will get other people to go, hey, there's more information here than just a picture of a bride. When I'm planning my wedding, I need to come back to this guy's page. Like, you need to get people, give them a reason to engage with you as a photographer and have more information than how to choose a great wedding photographer. You know, the most beautiful churches in the Tampa Bay area, things like that. And I like the way you knew the Tampa Bay area.
I like that.
It's like the Tri-City.
It's great.
Thanks.
Now, Brandon. So Brandon mentions, you know, the only way to advertise on Facebook is sponsor posts. Nothing else works. I got to be honest with you. I disagree with you a little bit about this. Yeah. And it's one of the things that I think that happens when people start hearing about social media. I think people just want to see it as a nut that they can just crack. They're like, if I could just figure out the right combination of posts and tags and things like that, it requires a good amount of investment and it requires a good amount of time. Talking to Pete and getting up a blog post with Pete that makes him look good and writing words that, writing a statement or something that can get Pete excited about sharing that on, it takes a little bit of effort. That's something that you have to curate. And I always tell people it's almost kind of like a Zen garden, the little sand gardens that you can have. Facebook is something that you can really, really mine, but it requires a fair bit of attention that you have to have when it comes to this. That attention can be templatable over time, where it can take a little bit less, but it requires attention nonetheless. In word of mouth, all has to start with one person.
Right.
So you have to, just go to one person and then hope that one person goes along to another person.
Even a 1,000-mile journey
begins
with but one step. All right, so this isn't, RC's right. This isn't going to happen overnight. This is a strategy that takes time. It takes some dedication. Kevin L. asked, are you guys using Facebook business pages and Facebook personal pages to drive your business? My Facebook personal page, I do not drive any business on. It literally is just friends, people I know personally. But I do have a Facebook business page, which is about business. That's why it's called a business page. Anyway.
I actually don't use business pages on Facebook.
You don't?
I have two personal pages. Like this is one. This is my. So if you go to Facebook.com,
because you only have 5,000 people.
Yeah, I don't have that many people. So this is my Facebook page, right? So Facebook.com PhotoRC.
Right.
This is where I talk to people.
Right.
Right. And then I have another one, which is where my family and friends are.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Right. But they're not business pages.
No, my other one's a personal page.
Right. They're both personal. They're both personal accounts.
Okay. So go over to mine.
It's not like a fan page.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Go to S. Kelby. So it's Facebook.com/S. Kelby.
So here, pages.
Or Skelby. Yeah, that's me.
Right.
And so this is where I have 57,000 people.
Right.
I love each one of them like a brother. Hey, look. You know what it says? Be on the grid in 15 minutes. You know what? That's old news because I'm on the grid right now. All right, scroll down.
So,
look, scroll down. I got a picture. Look, I got a nice picture today. Or
me?
a big, no, not of you. There it is. Look. Mont Saint-Michel. I told the story of how I was in France, driving into Rhine 4 hours with my friend Serge. Don't look at me, look at the picture. Go back to the picture. Click on it, RC, make it big and lovely. I was driving through the Rhine, 4 hours from Paris. I flew all night, very tired. Raining, terrible. We get out of the car 25 minutes from this place. Still raining, cats and dogs. Mostly cats. A lot of sounds like this. Meow. Anyway.
Let me out.
We go, we walk, we fall in love. No, we're walking to this place, and believe it or not, the rain stops. The clouds clear. And then, it was the magic happens. You cannot believe in the next 3 hours, the beautiful clouds that appeared, birds singing, Serge screaming. Okay, anyway, so I do have one page where, now the reason I created a fan page was when I got to 5,000 users, it says you can't be a friend anymore. So if you sent me a friend request, Jose O, I only have like 200 and something friends, like actual friends. You're one of them.
Yeah.
I follow you. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you're very French to me. All right. Now, oh God, Brad is so lame. Brad writes, rap time homie, but he writes a small W and rap in big letters like, rap time homies. I get it. I tell you what, there's nobody more street than Brad Moore. Dude,
wow.
You are like...
urban humor.
You're like Spike
Wonderful.
Lee, dude. You're like super
Spike
urban.
Lee.
All right. Hey, I want to wrap up. We got to wrap up. I do want to mention... RC is sweet Jesus. He is as far from Spike Lee as you could physically get. He's more like
Will.i.am.
Spike Jones. Yeah, you're more like Will.i.am. No, I'm just kidding. Hey,
closer to Bruce Lee.
We had a guy come up and he was going, well, what about getting jobs off of LinkedIn? You know what? LinkedIn is exactly where you go to get jobs. Full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. LinkedIn is a job board.
I got. Did I tell you about that? Well, I told you that. I think.
Yeah,
at the conference. I really like people got really upset with me when they were talking about that because I was talking about social medias and how to be able to set up a strategy, and I'm building a class on how to be able to go from one to another to another. And I was like, I gotta be honest with you guys, LinkedIn, whenever I see a LinkedIn post come in or something come in on an email, the first thing that I think of is,
they're out of the job. He lost his job. And especially if it says he left to spend more time with family.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Whenever I see a LinkedIn request come in, I'm like, oh, they're looking for a job.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. I still think that there's something that's pertinent to it.
Yeah, if I was looking for a job, that's the first place I'd go. Hey, so just to sum up real quick, number one is, unfortunately, I think right now, you kind of have to be everywhere. Mm-hmm. You have to be everywhere. You have to be on tour. You have to be everywhere. And you're going to find one that resonates with you. The reason maybe Google Plus resonates with you is because you're with other like-minded photographers and you're learning about photography and being inspired. Mm-hmm. On Twitter, you may find that what speaks to you on Twitter is the fact that you're able to get help, you're able to get advice, you're able to get, feedback really, really quickly. You may find that on Facebook, you can go there and it's a place where you can make money. And of course, you can do sponsored things and all like that. However, one last thing we didn't talk about was Pinterest. And Glenn Dewis was on our panel. He brought something that he does on Pinterest that's great. And so however you feel about Pinterest or not, Pinterest, I think earlier this year, or maybe at the end of last year, made private boards. He sets up a private board and he's getting ready to do a portrait shoot with somebody. He says, here, I set up a private board, go there, look all over Pinterest, and when you see a shot that you kind of like that shot, drop it in your board. So before the shoot, I can go look at your board and I know exactly what kind of shots you like. So Glenn's chance of creating a look that you like go up by 1,000 because you just told him, I like these kinds of looks. Whether it's product photography or portrait photography or whatever it is, if you're telling them in advance, not just saying, I like edgy stuff, but you're showing them, this is the kind of shot I want. Glenn knows what he needs to have there, what kind of look you like, what's going to turn you on as a customer. And I think that's a wonderful way for photographers to, you know what else too? It makes you, it's kind of hip. It's like, let's just say that on Tuesday you have a portrait session with RC and RC says, hey, go to Pinterest. What's Pinterest? You explain what Pinterest is. You go over to Pinterest, you put a bunch of images there. RC talks with you about it. He knows what you want. He delivers this great image. Then he comes to me next week and says, hey, I need you to do a shot for me. Okay. And he goes, well, do you have a Pinterest board for me to go to? And I'm like, no, why would I do that? Oh yeah, when I shot with RC, he had this really cool thing. It makes RC sound like the man and you sound like, what's Pinterest?
Those kids with the hippity hop.
Those kids with the hippity hop and the long hair and the hippie beads. All right, so, let's look at RC's Pinterest page.
I think one of the things with Pinterest is that I like the fact, and we talked about this a little bit, we're probably over on time on this, but the entire concept of, and Calibra was the person who actually brought it up, that in the world of art, and we're looking at this specifically from a photographic standpoint. People buy the artist. People buy who you are and get behind who you are. One of the things that I like the most about Pinterest is that people can come and see this and they get to learn a little bit more about me. And by learning about the things that I like, it can kind of, inspire them to take a look a little bit more of my work. So it shows, like I have a section here where I put a board where I have moments of mine. And inside of here, I'll go ahead and I'll post images that I've taken, right? So this is obviously my work. Like I would click on this and it would take you to my work. But you also see other things that I'm really, really interested. Like I'm a big fan of music. So you would go inside of here and Headless People. So probably one of my all-time favorite pictures of Stevie Ray Vaughan is right there. So you would know that I'm a big fan of blues music. And
he's a blues man.
It's one of those things where people would learn a little bit more about myself, would learn a little bit more about what kinds of things inspire me, and also learn about my work.
Hey, so RC, go up to the very top.
Yes, sir.
Can you zoom in on the very top where your name is, where it says about RC?
Yes.
Read that out loud for me.
Tampa-based photographer, Photoshop guy, Kelby Media Group. This is my personal Twitter account. It's pulling it off of Twitter.
Oh, because it says this is my personal Twitter account, but it's Pinterest.
I don't know.
Anyway, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. We hope that was of some help.
Marginally useful.
Marginally useful. Hope it was some help. I want to thank our sponsor, B&H Photo, the greatest people in the entire earth. The greatest store ever. And they are super terrific people. I mean, really, really wonderful. If you're in New York City and you haven't been to their store, it's honestly, I kid you not, if you're a photographer, it's worth flying to New York to go see. It's like the IKEA, it's an IKEA sign place.
It's a jewel.
Yeah.
In the middle of New York City.
It's the jewel. It is the jewel of New York City, but with less horse meat.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Bill McKim posted. Instagram is huge, and they never spoke of it. That's because we want to hold Instagram in its own little shell for something else.
It's for something else.
Bill, you're gonna love it.
Bill, you're going to lose your mind. You'll probably black out during the show.
All right.
Anyway, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. I'm Scott Kelby at Twitter. I am Scott Kelby at Google+. And Facebook, I'm S. Kelby. And you are CR?
The best place to find me is usually just on my own website. If you just go to aboutrc.com, you can get to pretty much everything that you can get to from there. All of the links are over
All
the
of
bottom.
the links are there. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we hope we'll see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And the potential for us having something spectacular next Wednesday is very high. That's all I'm saying.
Ish.
Oh, giveaway. Crud. Where do they go? Thanks, Pete. Good Lord. Go to kelbytv.com/giveaway. No, /contest, right? There it is. kelbytv.com/contest. Choose the grid. Put your name in there and your email so we can actually tell you you've won. Put a comment in there that says, hey, how about that Instagram? Anyway,
How about that hippity hop?
Put anything in there. How about that hippity hop? And we'll choose our winners. We'll contact you directly, but we also post them on the website as well. So good luck. Enter once or 1,000 times, but only once counts. Pete, anything else we forgot?
Just say you love you to each other.
That's okay. Pete says, just say I love you to each other.
To one another.
Can we say we love you?
It never hurts.
We love you, Pete.
We love you, Pete.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
And this is for Brad. Peace out. Peace. Flashing gang signs.
This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by Impix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. On One Software, focused on photography. Peach Pit Press, publishers of technology books, ebooks, and videos for creative people. Epson, exceed your vision. Expo Imaging, rogue flash vendors for speedlight enthusiasts. Intel, the power you need for hardcore creatives. Squarespace, everything you need to create an exceptional photography website. And B&H Photo, the professional source.